what's up? My name is Ariel. If you're new to this channel, welcome. And today I'm going to be talking all about the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Foundation. I've been using this foundation for an entire week now. I really genuinely love this foundation. It runs for $32 and you get that for an ounce. I believe it's like 1.08 of foundation, which is pretty standard. No, really briefly and really quickly, I just wanted to mention I had a tiny bit of a Britney Spears 2007 moment today, and I chopped off my hair. You're gonna see it in this week's Saturday weekly vlog. Yeah, I just got a pair of scissors and I went moving along. And now I'm going to show you just how it applies, the way that I like to apply it, as well as how it applies with the sponge. So let's get into how this baby transforms my face. On this side of the face, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty sponge, and I'll share more of my thoughts on this in a little bit while I use it. And on this side of my face, I'm going to be using the small stipple brush from Wet n Wild. This is $2.99, I think at most $2.99, and it's so good. And I actually prefer putting on this foundation with this small stipple brush. Well, a brush in general, but lately I've just been using this brush, and I really do like the way that my foundation has been looking and applying it and all that stuff. So let's get into it. I bought the shade 220. Now it does apply a little bit warm, and I think my tan is fading away a little bit, but it matches me pretty well throughout the day. It doesn't look too crazy. So I'm just going to dot this on my face, and as you can see, it is super liquidy, super thin, super liquidy.
So I'm gonna dot this on.
Oh, it's right in half of my face, and like I mentioned, it is really warm. So this is a sponge. I'm just going to bounce it in. I know some people prefer the flat edge side, but I prefer bouncing. Now I know I saw a lot of people mention that it's not a full coverage foundation, but it is buildable, and that's what I like about it, that it is buildable. Some days we want a bit of a lighter finish, other days we don't. At least some people do, so I feel like they did a good job on that. Look at this, it looks orange, but as you can see, it doesn't look too crazy. So this is what one half of my face looks like with foundation on. I guess this is a perfect time because one, it's that time of the month, so my skin is looking crazy. I have a bunch of texture on my face. That's what it looks like. I really do like the way this foundation looks throughout the day. I love this foundation. We're gonna move on to the other side, and the way that I've been applying this foundation on really quick, especially if you've watched my Saturday weekly vlog, I haven't shown you how I put it on camera, but I do just wear this foundation. On days that I either don't want to spend time on my makeup or I just want to get out the door really quickly with Penelope, I just put this foundation on, put some mascara on my eyebrows, and I'm out the door. So anyways, I just like putting one pump. That was like a really bad squirt. So just one pump into the stipple brush, and I like to just swirl it around, and I just feel like I get a better coverage like this than with the sponge. Like I said, the sponge, it's not bad, but this is just what I prefer. And to build up the coverage on this side with the sponge, I felt like the first time I used it, I would have to keep applying more foundation and more foundation on. But with this brush, it's not that bad. I normally do just one pump for this side, for the lower half, and then another pump for the forehead. And because this foundation gets a little bit too warm for me, I always just drag it down the neck. I have a class to go to, so I'm gonna do this right now. Won't catch me outside looking crazy. Just kidding, I look crazy all the time. So off the bat, I feel like you can automatically tell that this side of the face has a bit more coverage to it. This is why I just prefer applying it with a stipple brush. Honestly, the reason why I used this brush was because it was the only clean one left, and I didn't feel like getting my other brushes that I normally use foundation with, but it works like a charm, and it's $2.99. I love these brushes. I have like a breakout going on over here, and half of it is just a bit more covered up than the side that isn't. I see some redness peeking through. So just to balance everything out, and I just don't want to apply too much foundation on, I'm going to just pour this right in here. I just feel like it sucks. I'm literally watching the sponge suck in the foundation. It's just so thin, and I feel like it just wastes so much product. Like, I put the same amount in the sponge right now as I did on the brush, and it just isn't doing as much as it does with the brush. It's just crazy to me. As far as the sponge goes, it's a bit more squishier, is that the right term to use, than other sponges. My Eagle Tools sponge is definitely more dense than this sponge. I feel like I will use this more for under eye concealing, just blending it all out. I don't know why I couldn't finish that word, concealing. I'm not really a fan of it. Like, I don't see myself using this foundation and thinking, ooh, I have to use this sponge. Like, I just don't see that. Like I said, I've been using this foundation this entire week, and what I've been using to apply it is this stipple brush. I definitely have to wash it because I'm breaking out, and well, a dirty brush isn't good for breakouts. Another way I see myself using this sponge is with a bit of a thicker foundation, like the Tarte Hybrid Gel Foundation. That one is a lot thicker than other foundations, and I just definitely see myself trying to use this just because of how squishy it is and less dense than other sponges. So yeah, I'm not really like that much of a fan of it, I guess you could say. So now that you've seen this foundation in action, and I've told you about the ways that I like to apply this foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup. So I'm on the website right now, and this foundation claims to be a soft matte long wear foundation, and it really is. It looked so good. Of course, I have combination skin, so all I do really is get a piece of tissue paper, whatever it is, and I just lay it flat on my forehead and take it off, and that's really all I have to do to just take the shine off of my face. And yeah, it looked really well when I got home, and that was around 10 p.m. It just looks so good. It is long wearing, and I feel like it is worth the money, and not to mention that I feel like it's reasonably priced. Now, I know it's a high-end foundation and some people won't pay $34 for a foundation. I completely understand, but compared to other high-end brands, other high-end prices, I feel like it just falls in between. The drugstore is getting a little bit more pricey. I mean, I can see a foundation that's like $17 in the drugstore, and then when you go to the higher end foundations, you can find the foundations for $60, $50. Now, I have to get my bang out of my buck for this baby because I'm not going to be this shade for that much longer, and I feel like I like this foundation so much that I'm willing to purchase another shade of this for my wintertime color. Not to mention that I don't set my face with this foundation. I don't put any powder on. I feel like it just looks good by itself, and if I do put powder on, it's really just so that my bronzer doesn't like blotch up or anything like that. But normally I really just don't even bother putting it on, and it makes my skin look like skin. It's not ultra matte, and it's not dewy. Obviously, it's a soft matte long wearing foundation, just like it claims to be, and I really do like this foundation, especially right now that I have a lot of texture on my face. I have to like shave my face. I have a really hairy face. I don't know, I think I was born like half monkey, besides the point. When I do, I haven't found a method other than getting laser hair removal that doesn't break me out or give me a chemical burn, and I'll definitely make a video all about that in the future. But yeah, so that's something I'm going to be doing in the future. Well, maybe in a couple of weeks. I'm definitely going to be getting laser hair removal and sharing with you everything I've done under the sun. I also forgot to mention that these foundations run in 40 shades, and I do know that some people yet still have trouble finding their shade. But the thing is, this was her launch with 40 shades, and that's amazing as it is. Now, of course, in the future, I do feel like she's going to include even more shades, and this foundation is so good. So yeah, those were my thoughts on this foundation. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything or something else that you want to know about it, whether you have any other suggestions for videos that you want me to film or anything like that. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already to join in on the family, and click that bell button so that you don't miss any other videos. And yeah, that's about it. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye. Something that I'm like dying over. It's less. People are so rude. So I feel like this New York, because that was her startup. She's going to. Oh my God! Way I see myself. Another way I see myself